CarolinaPrepper.com. If you're looking for quality food storage for hiking, fishing, hunting, basic survival needs, or just for everyday use, check out our food storage line at CarolinaPrepper.com. We also carry other fine quality products, such as our can concealment holsters for men and women. Keeping your firearm under cover and within reach puts confidence in your hands in any situation. Our products are 100% American made. Check us out today at CarolinaPrepper.com.
And now, it's time to stand for truth.
Betty, how are you? Hey, Gary, good to see you. Mike, hello. Rhonda, hello. Lori, good morning, good morning. Good morning, Chessie, how are you? Shauna, hello. How is everybody doing? Good to see everybody. Verhush. Hey, Danielle, good to see you. Jamie, good morning, how are you? David, hello, hello. Sherry, hi, how are you? Brisk morning in Phoenix. Ooh, a little windy there, a little cool. Probably got what we had a couple days ago. Good morning, Daniel. Hello. Burdette, how are you? Well, I tell you, YouTube just does not want to work for me. Okay, good. Thank you, Jamie. No wind. Oh, okay, just cold. Hey, Al, how are you? I apologize for YouTube. I don't know what to do with it. It's all, the settings are all right, but the streaming, they just don't want me to stream, I think. Hey, Ron, good to see you. Let me read Psalm 82 as everybody comes in and shares with everybody. God stands in the congregation of the mighty. He judges among the gods. How long will you judge unjustly and show partiality to the wicked? Defend the poor and fatherless. Do justice in the afflicted, to the afflicted and needy. Deliver the poor and needy. Deliver the poor and needy, I should say. Free them from the hand of the wicked. They do not know, nor do they understand. They walk about in darkness. All the foundations of the earth are unstable. I said, you are gods, and all of your children are of the Most High. But you shall die like men and fall like one of the princes. Arise, O God, judge the earth, for you shall inherit all nations. Amen, amen. Hey, Bob, good to see you. Have a great day too, Ron. Thank you. Amen. Chicago Pops, how are you? Got some news coming out of Chicago. Not such good news, but news nonetheless. Catherine, hello. Jello, Marlene. Jello peeps. How are you? Chicago, sad news coming out of Chicago. A 15-year-old boy who was delivering newspapers with his stepfather was basically shot in the head and killed. And they think that it was probably mistaken identity. Hey, Marianne, I think it's time that something happens in Chicago by way of, I don't know, bringing in the National Guard, whatever you need to do, to get that place cleared up. I know, Jamie, I can't get YouTube working correctly. It just does not want to work, and I think they're messing with the stream. I know it's very sad. And the young boy is dead. Hey, Renee. And again, they think it's just because that there was a mistaken identity. What happened was they went up behind him, and they were in a car. They went up and they struck the car from behind. And then as they were wondering, what was happening in the car, they went up and immediately just opened fire and shot the boy in the head. So sad for the stepfather, so sad for the entire family. And I think basically, what happened was it was like a case that I had with a child that I knew, where they thought he was older than he really was, and they killed him because of it. They thought he was 18. Turns out he was around he was 16, 17 years old. Freezing, going to In-N-Out. The no food In-N-Out. some reason, it just does not want to work today. YouTube does not want me to work. Hey, Mark Perez, good to see you. Amber, good to see you. So I don't know what is happening with YouTube, but we'll move on from that. Does anybody else feel like I do? It's thought to be a gang retaliation shooting. Yeah, Chicago Pops, and they're saying though that they thought it was mistaken identity. Corporations will have a lot more money to buy robots to save on labor costs. Yeah, and John, we'll have money in our pockets too. So, hey Lee, good morning. I know everybody in the mainstream media, they want to make it out that this is the worst thing in the world. Tax reform is horrible. People are going to die. And that's just not going to be the case. You know, not everybody will get the same amount of money. Not everybody will get a huge tax cut or tax refund. And that's just the way it is, the way it goes. Okay, good, Lee. For some people, it's really bad. I don't know. Don't know what is happening with YouTube, but I'm glad it's working for some people. It seems like the buffering and everything else is really bad, but hey, how are you, Marilyn? Good to see you. How are you, Danielle? Good to see you. The Dems scream, the sky is falling about everything. They do, Renee. They do that, and a lot of people just absolutely fall for that. And, you know, they come out and say, oh, we can't do this. You know, it's impossible. We're all going to... Hey, Kitty. Kitty lover, how are you? We're all going to, you know, perish. We're not going to have money for anything. We're not going to be able to buy food. And, again, that's not the truth. It never turns out to be the truth. But they keep trying it, and the public keeps buying it. Merry Christmas, Lee. Hey, Wendell. Good to see you. Now, let's see, yesterday, the Bruce Orr, you remember him, his wife worked for Fusion GPS and was participated in the Fusion GPS dossier. Looks like he didn't show up for his Intel committee meeting. Gullible, uneducated people believe the Dems, they want us to be uneducated. That's true, Chessie. My job said 2 years ago the reason they don't have more robots is money. Yeah, well, and they'll come up with a new excuse now. Trump said the evil top 25% pay 87% of all USA taxes. And if you look at the tax breaks, those people who are really, really high up there in money, they're not getting a break on taxes. He's going to plead the fifth anyway. Bruce Orr, well, yeah, he'd better because, you know, if we ever go after these people, there's a lot that, you know, that they've done. Again, conflict of interest and everything else. We had Alan Dershowitz came out and talked about Mueller the other day. He said that he has a credibility problem, and he should have been more careful about who he hired, and he also should have, when the one FBI agent Strzok was removed from the whole investigation, that should have been something that he told people right away, and he didn't do. And he feels that, you know, his whole credibility has been ruined, and it has. But I don't really know that matters to a lot of people because we just keep going. We just keep Mueller on there. We had people like Eric Holder coming out and saying, you know, let's take to the streets in the event that Mueller is fired. And of course, he's trying to just get the masses all worked up. Hey, Jules, because President Trump has said, I have no desire or any intentions of firing Mueller. Hey, Jerry. But he just wants that to take place. Eric Holder does. He wants people to get riled up. And so does Walter Shaw, but we talked about him yesterday. He's another person he was the director of the U.S. Office for Government Ethics under Obama. And he said the same thing. We're going to, you know, have to take to the streets if they remove Mueller. And he's already signed up for a left-wing organization and has a planned movement on Capitol Hill in the event that Mueller is removed. You know, again, you know, you look at this and you know darn well, just like I do, that if this were Hillary Clinton and this were an investigation we were doing against her, and our special counsel was acting like this, they would have called for that person to be removed long ago. You know it, I know it. It's ridiculous to even think otherwise. So they want us to believe that, you know, well, we should just hang in there because Mueller's great. Everybody says he's great, so you should believe it. Clinton still has the boot on. Yeah. She'll probably have that on for a really long time, maybe a couple of years. I don't know. And I don't know if what that boot is all about. I really don't. I don't know if it's legitimate or it's something else, like she's wearing something around her leg. And we'll never know. We will absolutely never know. But we can speculate. Poor Clinton liberal tears. I know, Jesse. We can only cry for her and hope. Yeah, Bruce Orr now on him, back on him. I think what they're going to have to do is they're going to have to subpoena him and try to get him to come back and hold him in contempt if he doesn't come back. Because obviously he has some things he doesn't want to talk about. Now, today, McCabe is supposed to go up there and talk, so we'll see. Broken toes are actually very painful. You can't walk without support. I can believe that, Hidden Gem. I've broken my ankle, and I know how bad that is, so I can only imagine with your toes that you'd have to have a boot to walk. Maybe Clinton and McCain are taking turns with the boot. Could be, Daniel. Could very well be. And we know that McCain has gone home to Arizona. So, Daniel, you like that one, Daniel? Does anybody know when the vote is going to be on tax reform? Because I know that we had Paul Ryan out talking about it just a few minutes ago. Her stupid toe broke 2 months ago. It's not about a tie. Yes, broken toes take 6 to 8 weeks to amend. Ugh. Today, Chezzy, that's what I thought because they were out talking about it. Looks like YouTube is stopping again. This is so bad on YouTube. Don't know what to do with it. No, none of the settings I had before have changed. It has to be something going on with YouTube, and it's a shame that they're doing this, but I don't know how to get around it. I really don't. There's nothing I can do. Blessing for McCain, family in Jesus' name. Absolutely, John. I wish him all the best, and I hope I hope a miracle happens and that he is able to survive this. They want to put it on the president's desk today. Good, Chezzy. I've broken a toe. Her silky boot is not a toe issue, in my opinion. Okay, Jules, that you would know. If you've had broken toes, you know more than the rest of us who haven't had that issue, thankfully. Popped in to say hello. Oh, hi, Beck. Good to see you. McCain not welcome home in Arizona. Really, Miranda? Well, they keep voting him back in, but I guess I always think that was due to special interest groups myself. Shauna's back. Thanks, Beck. Let's see some more information. Did you hear that? Let's see. I hope McCain will stay home with his family. Bless his heart. Yep. I hope that he will too. I think that would be, best for him. If given that diagnosis, I think he should spend as much time with his family as absolutely possible. But that's totally up to him. Now, the Trump administration believes, hey, Robin, we voted him because he promised Obamacare repeal. Should have known that was a lie, Rhonda. Sorry. He doesn't strike me as a family guy. Could be very well true, Shauna. Maybe his family doesn't like him, Danelle said. Could be. Tax reform ain't done yet. It will be today, Grant. Hey, Harold, good to see you. Trump administration thinks North Korea was behind the WannaCry cyber attack. Remember that back in May? It was a very, very egregious attack. They asked for a lot of money. He doesn't. Yeah. So we'll see. I don't know who McCain would be replaced by because Kelly Ward is seemingly running for Senate. The senator. Yeah, tax reform done today. Yahoo! I know I saw the bots there, Shauna. They've come in every day this week so far. And last week. It's funny how something like that would come out of North Korea, that WannaCry cyber attack, being so sophisticated. When it comes to death, it's different. I just lost a very good friend yesterday. Oh, Chezzy, sorry about that. I still don't know who to believe about the tax reform. Robin, if you see that every Democrat is against the tax reform, that should give you a pretty good indication that it's good. Jerry, if I block the spam bots, they usually come back and come back in force. That's why I haven't done that. But doesn't it seem odd that something so sophisticated can come out of North Korea like that? Does anybody else find that funny? Yeah, Wall Street Journal said the plan is good, Marianne said. I think the plan is good. I've looked at it. I don't see any. Is it perfect? No. But I think it's good. The tax policy report on the bill is terrible. Eh, that's from the CBO. Hey, Lisa. You're doing things right. What did WannaCry consist of? Oh my gosh. Daniel, that was the one where I forget exactly all the ins and outs, but they were taking ransom money in order for you to get your account back. So many friends are posting memes, and I asked them, is this true? Yeah, Robin, you have to really be careful. Is Rubio a yes? Grant should be, because they fixed the child tax credit like you wanted, so he's happy. By last accounts, unless something else happened between then and now. Hacking and ransomware by NOCO, yeah. That was the WannaCry cyber attack. And that was the one where, I mean, it was ransomware, right, Lee? They held it for a lot of money, like millions of dollars that they got out of it. And a lot of the money they were asking for, well, it cost billions, excuse me. They asked for out of Bitcoin. Oh, not as bad as destroying fires. Watch out for last-minute defectors. And that's true, Jules. There are always some of those. But I think they're pretty confident. And it's where wheeling and dealing comes in any bill passed. Yeah. So you're going to see probably some of that wheeling and dealing. But I think they pretty much think they have it wrapped up. What is Bitcoin? Oh, my gosh. That would like take too long to explain. Better to Google it. It's a new form of currency that doesn't have to do with the dollar or gold that people are. It's doing pretty well so far. It's another form of currency, let's just say. Okay, so there is a $3 million federally funded project which encourages Americans to eat less. Now, and they want you to eat less so that it would reduce climate change. This was a program that was funded under the Obama administration. I know that's shocking. And they're doing a study at the Michigan Technological University to figure out how to get you to eat less so it will reduce global warming. Ransomware is China. Well, Trump is saying it's North Korea. So I don't know. I have no idea which one it is. I need to eat less, but not for the environment, Danelle said. Yeah, Bitcoin is more digital, and basically there's no way to trace it. Government somewhere is going to step in and try to, be able to do that. They're not going to allow something to just go unfettered for too much longer, I would think. Does that mean we reduce EBT cards so they buy less food? No, Marianne. Unfortunately, it doesn't work that way. Marlene, you bought Bitcoin. Is anybody afraid that when you buy Bitcoin that the government may somewhere step in and say, we're not going to recognize that currency? Bitcoin can be traced. It's to decentralized banks. I bought. Okay. Government wants it on it. What do you use it for? Anything, Robin. Buying anybody who will accept Bitcoin. Basically, you can use it just like currency. My friend started Bitcoin mining early in the year. He's not really a friend anymore, though. Yeah, a lot of people buy. If you can exchange, you could exchange paper and without anything on it and say this is valuable. You can make anything valuable, and that's what they're doing. You can cash in Bitcoins. Yeah. I'm leery of it, collapsing like a pyramid. Blockchain, Shauna said. Not sure what that is, but yeah, I don't know. I just think you still need to file taxes on it. They will see it. Absolutely, it's income. It's to cut the banks out. It came because of the crash in 2008. Yeah, okay, Marlene, I'm leery of it. Collapsing like a pyramid, a bot said. Thanks for sharing. I did big meme on blockchain. Okay, now I get it. Money supported by gold, what Bitcoin standing on. See, and that's just it, John. And at one point, the government really started regulating gold as well. And I think at one point they took gold off as the standard. So I don't know. I'm a little concerned, but a lot of people seem to really like Bitcoin. Good morning, Monique. I think YouTube's not very good today. Again, Monique, I can't. I don't know what they're doing with it. No tangible assets backing Bitcoin. Right. Makes it a little bit risky. A little bit risky. Oh, well, I don't have money anyway, so I'm good. Robin said. Makes all the difference. Who needs Bitcoin when you have no money? There is nothing backing the dollar, folks. Yep, not even gold. Gold no longer standard, so our money is also risky. Yeah. Obama made it very risky. Printing more money without having anything to back it up. Let's see. Yesterday's Amtrak derailment. They're saying the likelihood that what caused it was going 50 miles over the speed limit. Hey, Carmen, good to see you. It was supposed to go 30 miles an hour in that zone that it was in, but it was going 80 miles an hour. I'm really shocked that more than 3 people didn't die. I'm really shocked by that. The way that all looked. Yeah, going 81, Chesney said. Hey, Nick, good to see you. The way that it looked with all those cars on top of each other, it was just amazing. They did do test runs, Hidden. They did it for weeks, they said. So I have no idea. But it runs about 80 miles an hour anyway. So maybe that person got there and just thought, oh, okay, I'll just keep going at 80 miles an hour. I don't know. But it's crazy. And apparently some other people had said, some leadership there had said, there's going to be some problems with this. I don't like this train. And they had tried to stop it. Someone fell asleep, you think, Beck? I hadn't heard that, but there were other people, more than just one person on that. Why couldn't the train be programmed to slow down at that turn? I don't know, John. It's a good question. Sounds like the driver must be at fault. Yeah, I would think so. It was a new train line too on Premier Trip, I think. Yeah, it wasn't a new train. I think it was a new track in that it had been adapted for that Amtrak to run on it. Hey, Barbara. And that's, they had been testing it for weeks and thought they were ready. And yesterday was, I think, the first trip. There were 70-some people on board. 70 people they reported were taken to the hospital, and 3 died. Which, again, I'm shocked it was only 3. That's the second time a train was going too fast and crashed. Yep, so very sad. I know, Chesney, very, very sad. I was watching my favorite news anchor, you, on my TV because my battery was low again. Not a problem, Monique. Hopefully it comes out better on TV than it's coming out on YouTube right now. There are supposed to be warning system built into the system for excess speed. Yeah, I know, Chicago. It pops. It doesn't make sense. None of that makes sense. Train was also 50 miles per hour too fast. Yeah, Jules, that's what I was just saying. It was supposed to go 30 miles an hour in that particular route across that bridge or whatever, or the overpass, and it was going 50 plus miles over that. Good to see you, Barbara. So, yeah, that's a big problem. And again, there's more people on that train than just one person, just one engineer. There could have been other people who said, aren't you going too fast? I mean, if they thought it was going too fast. So I don't know what the problem was. And if they tested it for weeks before they did it, it looks like they could have corrected it. Maybe the system can be overridden. You would think so too, Lisa. I mean, they have a lot of fail-safes on those trains like that. You think they would have used a driver who did the test runs. I know, Hidden. Could it be sabotage? Danielle, it could be, but they didn't act like it was. They didn't mention anything about that at all. My messages are getting to you too late. Not a problem, Jules. I don't know if that's slow Periscope or what. think they, oh, another bot. I almost repeated the bot. Oh my God. Um, here's some exciting news for you. In Colorado, the Democrat Party announced that its annual Jefferson Jackson dinner will now be renamed the Obama dinner. Prayer that truth comes out. Yes, Alexis. Do bots count in numbers? I don't know, Barbara. I think they might. What? Yep, Carmen. Yep, Barbara. They're renaming it the Obama dinner. I know, Lee, they do. Maybe no one attend. I think it'll probably be heavily attended. Much better on TV, like watching the news, full 60-inch screen, no delays, because YouTube comes through the cable. Only downfall is you can't see I'm logged in. Yeah, that's okay. YouTube is just, I hope other people are seeing it, but when it comes back, it doesn't look good. Otherwise, the stupid dinner. Yeah, it's going to be, that dinner will be packed, I guarantee you. More so now than calling it the Jefferson Jackson dinner. Is Obama on the menu? They do like to eat their own. That's a good one, Lisa. I would imagine he may be. But that's Colorado. Sure, my invitation is in the mail. I know mine's not because I don't get any mail here that has to do with the Democratic Party whatsoever. Okay, Chessie. Eating her. But it's true, Beck. They do eat their own. Remember Al Franken? Isn't that obstruction to withhold evidence? You have to give over evidence to the prosecutor and people like that. It depends on what, if it's subpoenaed or not. I had nightmare last night. Was in a car with Hillary driving around town delivering drugs. Now that's a nightmare, Rhonda. I enjoyed them eating Matt Damon last night on Twitter. Marlene, I'm telling you, Matt Damon, he stepped right in it. Hey, Camp Allen, how are you? I'm just sick. He's like a cockroach. You can't get rid of him. He kept lying. He kept lying about what? Oh, she kept lying about what she was doing. Yeah, yeah. Even in your dreams, you know the truth, Rhonda. Seeing the spirit cooking and human cake, yuck. I get all Republican news and they follow me on Twitter, Chesney said. I missed the Matt Damon thing. See, what happened, Robin, is that Matt Damon, if you didn't know, he came out and said, there's a difference between men who just patch on the butt one time and a man like Harvey Weinstein who has a number of allegations against him for doing really horrible sexual misconduct. And so Matt's saying, for somebody who just gropes you once or whatever, shouldn't we just kind of give that person a break? And so all of the females are like, are you kidding me? You've never been groped. You've never been had sexual misconduct against you. Who do you think you are? Go away, and all that type of thing. And so then Matt's guilty. Could be. And Chris Matthews' accusers have gone up to 9, Marianne. Hey, Rob, good morning. So, I get Matt Damon's point. It's like if you've done something, maybe you should apologize and move on, or, apologize and maybe pay if it's an employer type relationship. But does that mean you need to be, thrown under the bus, resign from your job and things like that? Keeping up with Weinstein. And so, for somebody like Weinstein, if true, I think the answer is yes. But for somebody else who may have done it one time or whatever, maybe the answer is maybe they should be given a second chance. But that's what Matt was saying. But he's being chastised for it. Yeah, I know, Matthew's accuser. Damon is good friends with Casey Affleck. I suspect that has something to do with it. You diminish Weinstein's accuser. No, he's not trying to diminish Weinstein's accusers. He's saying that basically for something like what Weinstein's doing, there's really no excuse. And he's saying that person should be, given the full brunt of the law and everything else. But he's saying if you do it one time, maybe could you not just apologize, say you're sorry, maybe pay the consequences? Do I agree with Damon? I don't agree that in any situation should anybody ever grope you on the butt. Whether it's male on female or female on male. As I've said before, keep your hands to yourself. But I'm saying I get Damon's point. That's his way of seeing it. So I get what he's saying. I understand it. Yeah, I mean, I don't. I think if it's an employer who gropes you on the butt, you should be gone. Sorry, that should be it. That is totally inappropriate in a workplace environment. Yes, at some point, if you realize it was out of line, little boys cannot help it, Barbara said. Okay, Chessie. Yeah, I just think in a work environment, it sets a bad example if you let the boss get away with something like that. And if you're a boss of an organization, you ought to know better than to do something like that ever. I don't see an excuse for that. If it accidentally you touch somebody, I can understand that. You know, you walking down the hall, you fall or something. I get it. But not groping somebody's butt if you're the boss. Yeah. The thing is, we've all experienced it in some form. Just ride a pack subway. Well, I mean, I have had somebody, you know, at my work do that to me. It was my boss when a lot younger, and you know, I reported it and nothing happened. So I get it, you know, and I understand it. But that was back when we really didn't have the laws on our side. But Matt Damon will probably never work again. So because he gave an opinion. The boss does set the tone. Yep. Someone touches you, you haul back and punch. Well, Alexis, you know, you have a right to defend yourself. So. Hey, Cully, good to see you. What I did for my boss is I said, you ever do that again, and that'll be the last thing you ever do. So he never did it again, but I told HR anyway. Good to see you, Don. You know, need them and dare them to report, Barbara said. Okay, so... Now, I don't know why you break their hands back. Washington Post is making claims that President Trump was reconsidering Gorsuch nomination amid concerns that he wouldn't be loyal to Trump. This is so typical of the mainstream media to come out for no reason at all and try to bring doubt on something that President Trump has done. So if you have Gorsuch, who's doing a great job, and Republicans are loving him because he's doing a great job, now the mainstream, the left wing, has to come out and say, oh, you know, but President Trump was thinking about getting rid of him before he was, hey, Gary. Oh, you're telling Don good morning. You know, trying to act like President Trump had, second thoughts. Another fake media story. I know. And it's all done, Cully, so that the left, people on the left will look at that and go, oh, wow, you know, there's another incompetent thing that Trump did, or there's something else that Trump was behind and then he changed his mind. Just to make it look very unstable regarding Trump. That's exactly what they're trying to do. Some other news in regards to President Trump. Prior to accusing President Trump of sexual misconduct in the 1990s, Jill Harth, one of the accusers, allegedly sought a job with the Trump campaign. So I don't know about you, but if somebody had sexually assaulted me or something of that nature, I wouldn't be asking for a job as a makeup artist on their campaign trail. If you would, don't mind retweeting, that would be great. Why is Mueller coming to the White House today? Marianne, I suppose that I mean, I don't know. I have no idea why he's coming to the White House. I don't know if somebody's asking him questions, and quite frankly, I didn't hear that he was coming to the White House. Think Omarosa knew too much, cheaper to keep her. Oh, she knows too much. I don't think Omarosa knows this. I think Omarosa may talk later on to the media like she knows a lot and had a great position and knew a lot in there. But I don't think her position was one of where she knew too much. Hey, Spencer, I don't think she was privy to a lot of information, not in the role that she was in. Just like a lot of other people there. I don't think they know as much as they think they did. What did Omarosa do? Omarosa got fired. Well, actually, they said, that's what the left mainstream media said, that she got fired by General Kelly. But the official news from the White House is she resigned. Yeah, I mean, again, I'm not a fan of Omarosa's. I haven't been a fan of hers. I didn't like her on The Apprentice. You know, but I did not like how the mainstream media was trying to destroy her, and especially people from the black community. I thought that was absolutely wrong. She should be on the She should be the president of her own fan club. She probably is, Robin. Omarosa has never been well liked at all by most people. I think, Jules, that may be pretty accurate statement. I think people say that she comes across very arrogant. She's very bossy, kind of a know-it-all. I don't know. I don't know her personally. I just know that I never watched her on TV or wanted to watch her or anything else. She's a tad mouthy for my taste, Shauna said. Yeah, she's got attitude. Okie fish. Omarosa only had a 1-year White House agreement. Makes sense. She probably was, for what some of the things I was hearing, that she wanted some cabinet appointment, but I have no idea if that's really true. Trump should have known better to let her in the White House. Big mistake. But she has known President Trump for 14 years, ever since she was on The Apprentice. So, what was she before The Apprentice? I've never heard of her. She did work somewhere else hidden, but I can't remember. I don't know if it was in politics or not. Did she do any work there? Maybe that was part of the question, Okie Fish. I don't know. But, one of the things supposedly that wasn't liked is she brought 39 members from her wedding party into the White House without authorization, I guess, to do so. And I don't know what areas she took them in, but she didn't like that. I mean, they didn't like that. She broke a big protocol by thinking she had a right to bring, the wedding party in for pictures, right? She's a preacher now, too. Yep. Yep, she's a pastor. That isn't right. Yep. The Rose Garden. Is that where she went, to the Rose Garden? She was hired, then fired, but not much in between. Kelly got really mad. That's what mainstream media is saying, and I have no idea. I mean, a lot of it you hear, you have no idea what the truth is anymore coming out of the White House or anything else, because mainstream media is not reporting the news accurately and giving you fake news. So I don't trust anything I hear on it. Let's see. So keep your eye on Jill Harth to see where that goes. One of the accusers asking to be put on the campaign. Doesn't bode well for her. Now the GOP is urging Congress to investigate Obama's handling of the anti-Hezbollah task force. Yeah, you don't want to piss Kelly off. That's true. So here's another thing about another investigation that should be looked into about the anti-Hezbollah. So in other words, as we talked about yesterday, Obama wanted to have a great relationship with Iran, go through with the Iran deal, and he didn't want us to go after Hezbollah, so we didn't. So I have no idea why we're not looking into that. And that was Robert Pittenger from North Carolina who wants something looked into. And we missed our opportunity. We've been missing every opportunity that we have to go and do something. So it's getting rather ridiculous. Hey, Molly, how are you? More evidence of Obama's true Muslim leanings. Well, could be, but also I think that, he wanted this Iran deal to go through, and he was hell-bent on having it done, and he made way for it to happen. I mean, there's so much that we should be investigating now. This is why I said yesterday, Sessions has to go. We need a bulldog. We really need a bulldog. And it was, hey, Chris, it was great to see Sessions come out yesterday and say I'm trying to make the streets better and cut down on crime. Hey, Amanda. But we need more than that. We need him to go out and do about 15 investigations here and get him going and quit waiting and make stuff happen. And he's just not doing that. Yeah, I know, Okie. I am a fan of I'm a fan of Sessions. I have been. I love his ethics. I really do. But he's not an attorney general for this time that we find ourselves in. I feel the crime is all he's focused on. Me too, Marianne. I think so too. Where's Rudy when you need him? I don't know. There's a town in Kenya called Hawaii. Never heard of that, Jules, but that wouldn't surprise me. Hey, Amber. He's not firm. He's stuck in first gear, Shauna. You know, for my taste, we need somebody who's in fifth gear, and he's in first gear. He just takes everything just as slow as can be. And you know, when you look at and see who's running the DOJ, when you put them side by side, it's not a pretty picture. Here's Sessions on one hand, who is as slow can be. Hey, Richard, Merry Christmas. And then you have standing right next to him Rod Rosenstein, who's Barney Fife. You know, so I mean, you've got two people. You're like, these people are running the DOJ. This can't be happening. Hey, Johnny. And yet it's happening. So, he's busy in the background and will come out soon. I know Cully says he's got a flat tire. Susan for HE. There you go. I know he's busy in the background. I hope he's doing a ton of investigations. If it comes out soon, that will be great. I just don't see that happening, but you know what? It's possible. I hope. Didn't he seem like Barney Fife to you, Okie? I mean, he really did. He's like low energy Jeb, only lower energy than Jeb. Amanda. Molly says, I hope so. Yep. Okay, all right. Danielle, have a great day. Thanks for coming in. We'll see you tomorrow. He's busy. Yeah, so the bot was talking again. Hey, Rob, good to see you. So disappointed in Sessions. Yes, I would like Jeff for my grandpa. Exactly. He'd make a great grandpa. And again, he hasn't done anything bad as an attorney general. It just hasn't done enough for what we need at this time as an attorney general. Thanks for the flowers, Robert. So that's the problem. And we need somebody, you know, like I said yesterday, Trey Gowdy, but Trey Gowdy doesn't want it. Nice guy, wrong time in history for him. Absolutely, Okie. That's it. You know, before he would have been fine. He did get the bulldog on when slapping away. Yeah, I don't think he really slapped away the hand of Biden, Shauna. If you look at the video, that's not what he was doing. He was moving her hair, and it wasn't a slap. I looked at it like 15 times. That's what people wanted you to believe it, but that's not what it was. Hey, lovely. Good to see you. Lovely Con. All right. So, in other news, in Oregon, at an Oregon Christian school, there's a school teacher who's 29 years old. She was arrested after being caught in bed by her husband with a 15-year-old student. So that's Oregon. So that's what's happening in Oregon at a Christian school. Hopefully they'll get that worked out and get better teachers. And again, I don't understand people with their fetishes of young children. Like, it's ridiculous. Has anyone mentioned the connection between Antifa and the Washington train wreck? No, Johnny. I haven't heard anything about that. No, I think that Optimo, that's not a correct statement. These teachers, she's absolutely, if she did it, and if it's true, she's sick. There was some talk about that yesterday. Yeah, Okie Fish, you know, I think, again, talk like that, but Antifa on the train, I mean, you have to kind of, I don't want to spread conspiracy theory rumors unless it can be somewhat corroborated. And a lot of times it can. It's just people who like clickbait. You were on that train on Saturday, Okie? That's amazing. Yep, Twitter's banning on the conservative side. Train was going 80, yep, in a 30-mile-an-hour zone. Can be with a teacher but can't drive a car. Needs a permit for one and the other's not permitted. Alex Jones theory, yeah. She has some splaining to do. Well, she can do that in jail, it looks like. Looks like the speed was a problem. Yes. Alan West said that. Johnny was saying. That would be interesting. There's got to be, you know, there should be cameras and stuff inside the train, but if it's like Vegas where there's cameras everywhere, but suddenly during the shooting there are no cameras to be found, we should be able to have some information on who was in the train, what was going on in the train at the time. So, do they have a black box? Somebody was saying that there is something similar to a black box from a plane that is on the train. Antifa had damaged some tracks. Oh, okay. Yeah, but if you're looking at it and the train is going 50 miles over the speed limit, then that's the problem. Why? Thank you. And so it wouldn't be Antifa. It could be both, but if the tracks were fine, and they say also that those tracks were being looked at, they have to be examined, very often. I don't know how often, but they have to go out there and walk the tracks. Destroyed evidence, who knows? It was going 81, yeah. Yeah. Antifa made videos of how to do trains, hauling fracking parts. We have not seen evidence connecting Antifa. No, we haven't. These are they just upgraded those tracks. That's true. They upgraded them so that the Amtrak train would be able to go on them. Concrete on the tracks. Yeah, I mean, Johnny, again, if you're going 50 miles over the speed limit, that looks like the problem. I looked into the train last night. It was just speed, Grant said. I tend at this point to think it was just speed. No evidence of Antifa at this time. Exactly. When if we find evidence, that's one thing. If we have something, let's go with it. But until then, it's a conspiracy theory, and it's easy for people to come out and have that type of conspiracy theory because there's really no way to say, "Oh no, that didn't happen." I mean, it will be a lot to say that didn't, that there's proof on the tracks. I mean, who's going to go out there? How are you going to find that? Very unlikely. Again, unless there are cameras. I wonder if the conductor is one that died. I don't know, Amanda. They will never admit it if there is evidence anyway. Exactly. Antifa allegedly endorsed pouring concrete on train tracks. The conductor is alive. Okay, that's good. So the conductor can say what he or she saw, and maybe they found something. Yeah, if that was truly Antifa, Sean, I mean, probably was, could have been, whatever. I just don't know. So, there's a lot of videos on YouTube. You want to learn English with me? Well, you can just keep listening, I guess. Everything points to human error traveling too fast. Exactly, Chicago Pops. Good, glad they are alive. Yes, Amanda. Yeah, I mean, there's so much going on. You don't know who's causing what. But in this case, with 50-some miles over the speed limit, I would say, I definitely point to speed. And there may be other evidence later on that they find, but I think speed is going to be your number one cause here. Or at least number 1 and 2. Time for electronic speed governors. Looks like speed in a sharp corner there. Yeah. And again, what the odd thing to me is that they practiced this for weeks. Got to wait for the NTSB report. That's right, Rob. They practiced this for weeks, and so on the first trip, why did they go that fast? They did mention a black box earlier. I listened to them yesterday talk about that on Fox News. So we'll see what is said, but I think probably the NTSB has come out and said that they think so far that it's speed related. They say they have the monitors and heard they did not use it. They did not use what, Barbara? So yesterday we talked about Linda Sarsour, who is allegations against her for allowing sexual assault to take place at, the monitors. Now that's odd that they wouldn't have monitors on the train. For allegedly covering up sexual assault on the workplace. There's a woman who claims that she was sexually assaulted by a man who was in the building. She reported it allegedly, and nothing was done about it. She was told that he's a good Muslim. He goes to the mosque. Stay quiet. He wouldn't come after you anyway. They body shamed her, according to this woman. And so now we have a New York Democrat, a state Democrat, Representative Dove Heikind, and he is calling for an investigation into the charges. He said if Linda Sarsour enabled the sexual assault and harassment of a woman who worked for her, as alleged, this should concern everyone. Women everywhere should be demanding an investigation into these charges. And I'll have to say, of all the, every time a man is accused of doing something, you have the mainstream media going crazy, coming out and saying they should resign, and it's all over the news. Linda Sarsour is accused of doing something, and all you hear are crickets. Rail service in the USA is far behind most of the world. We need to rebuild our rail system. Just desserts, Linda Marlene said. But you know what? We have nothing. I've heard nothing. I saw 3 people reporting on Linda Sarsour. I reported on her at SusanKnowles.com and have some things that were said by people on Twitter and some things that she's done in the past. For example, she was on the 100 most influential people. I will only listen to learn the language. Well, that's okay. Because we can't criticize Muslims. That's right. That's exactly right. So that's why nobody's coming out and saying a darn thing about what she did. Thanks for the retweet, Kat. But again, keep this in mind. Can't stand that ladies, sorry, she's a huge troublemaker. Yeah, Richard, she is. And the left loves her. It's crazy. You would think that this would make some on the left wake up and smell the coffee, but I doubt that very much it will. The silence is deafeningly. Franken isn't quitting. That speech was a lie, Johnny said. Well, Johnny, we talked about that a little bit yesterday. There are some people like Manchin who is saying that he wanted Franken to reconsider. And Patrick Leahy supposedly told him in private, I'm sorry, I asked you to resign. They don't want him to resign now because Roy Moore did make it to the Senate, and so therefore they have no reason to throw Franken under the bus. Hey, Monique. So I mean, it's the left's play again. So we'll see what Franken does. I don't know if you've heard too much about the Bundy trial that's been going on. It's not looking good for the prosecution and the court system and the government on the Bundy trial at this point. There was an investigation done into the Bureau of Land Management's handling of that whole standoff with Cliven Bundy. And the report says that it reveals incredible bias, widespread misconduct, and likely illegal actions by the BLM. I know, Monique, it's just terrible. I'm going to have to try to figure that out. Obama's land management. That's right. Here's what they're being accused of. The prosecutors shared the report with the Bundy's defense attorneys, prompting a petition to Judge Gloria Navarro for a mistrial or for the case to be dismissed altogether. The Oregonian, that was reported by the Oregonian. Navarro's judgment is expected to come down on Wednesday. So BLM Special Agent Larry Wooten addressed the Department of Justice and gave an 18-page report discussing some of what he witnessed during the 3-year investigation. Some of the claims are BLM agents had a kill list featuring people who had committed suicide while under investigation by the agency. BLM agents and officials referring to the Bundys as retards and douchebags. Agents bragging about grinding a Bundy family member's face into gravel, and lead prosecutors in Nevada's acting U.S. Attorney Steve Myers, it looks like, preferred ignorance of investigation details that would benefit the Bundy's defense team. And then former Special Agent Dan Love, who was in charge of impounding Bundy's cattle in 2014, conducted the most intrusive, oppressive, large-scale, and militaristic trespass cattle impound possible, according to the report. Now, that's pretty egregious. That's a pretty egregious statement there. So, the Bundy's defense strategy accuses the BLM of using overly aggressive and threatening tactics. So, it's likely, that you may see this whole case thrown out. It's unfortunate because of people that have died, committed suicide, or been killed because of what happened with the Bundys. I don't know how the Bundys could ever really recoup because of all the cattle. I think 400 head of cattle, I believe, were taken from them. How do you recoup from that? How do you recoup from spending 2 years of your life in prison? I know. I think they should sue them for everything the BLM has, which is hard to sue the government, and sue other people that, involved in that, as many people as they can. They will never get back. They will never recoup what they lost out of their